This video is brought to you by
Cool Grain Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Come on down, shop with us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you can't come and shop with us in person, go online right now at coolgrainclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Let me give y'all a little disclaimer before I get into the story. It's a requested video. Everything in this story is public information and everything is alleged. And the person being accused is innocent until proven otherwise. With that being said, let's get right into the story. As parents, we all want to protect our kids from the evils that go on in the world. We love on them, talk to them, and try to keep them as innocent and bright-eyed for as long as possible. But eventually, they will grow up, whether we want them to or not. And no matter how much we try to guide them or control their path, they have to eventually go out here and navigate on their own. For most parents, anxiety starts to kick in when your child turns about 14, starts hanging with their crowd, and are maturing into a young man or woman. You could have done a great job, raised them to be outstanding. But the fear really is, even though you still looking at them as my baby, you now know at that age, the rest of the world is not. But you can't lock a child up and isolate them from society. You gotta let them experience growing pains. Some might be good, others might be bad. In our eyes, our kids can do no wrong. And I'm sure most parents can relate to that. I know we all have heard somebody tell a parent, your child is out here acting crazy, beefing with everybody. And the first thing they say, well, what did they do to them? Teenagers fight and beef. That's how it's been from generation to generation. But the difference is nowadays, beef to them is not about meeting up, throwing hands. It's about 30s, switches, extendos, and catching a so-called op wherever. And with that mindset, teen beef or a simple altercation could easily take a turn for the worse. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be taking it about 30 minutes outside the city to Howard County to discuss the case of a teen beef that came to a fatal end in the middle of a crowded mall. Back in the summer of this year, according to his mother, 17-year-old Angelo L was a great kid. She raised Angelo by herself and taught the young man to have manners, respect for his elders and other people around him. Now a young adult, Angelo was enjoying the summer before going back to school, where he would be a senior at Homewood Center High School in Ellicott City. Originally from East Baltimore, Angelo's mother felt moving him to Columbia, Maryland in 2014 would give him a better quality of life, being away from the violence in the city. Considered a gentle giant, Angelo was a regular teen who loved basketball, spending time with his friends, going to the mall, but also was heavily involved in programs in the community, including one called STAN, a youth mentor program designed to help kids emotionally with their social skills, growing pains, school, and figuring out the best path in life for them. Angelo often spoke to the kids younger than him in middle school about staying focused and out the way. After a life-changing event left him and his mother in a bad place. Let's rewind back to April 2023. Angelo was the target of an attempted hit. He was at an apartment complex in Columbia, just 1 mile away from the mall, when a gunman approached and shot the young man 9 times. He was rushed to a local hospital, and fortunately, he survived the attack. No arrest was ever made, and the story never made headlines. Despite the attack and the scare, Angelo moved on with his life, and the young man was excited to get ready to be a senior. On July 27th, 2024, it was a regular day. Angelo got up and him and his mother spoke about the young man making a list of things he needed for the up-and-coming school year. He informed her he would be heading out later on and going to Columbia Mall, in which he did later into that day. After arriving at the mall, at first things seemed normal, but about 6 p.m., a call came into Howard County Police Department about a shooting in the mall's food court. People who were at the mall just shopping were in a panic and told to evacuate the mall quickly. When police and ambulance arrived to the scene, it was a young man not moving, suffering from a gunshot wound. He was rushed to a local hospital, where unfortunately he wouldn't survive his injuries. He was later identified as 17-year-old Angelo L. Witnesses at the mall told police it was some kind of altercation between Angelo and another man wearing dark clothes. As his mother got the horrible news, she was devastated and confused. How did her son's simple trip to the mall end with his life being taken? She pleaded with the community and anyone with any information to come forward. But at first, there wasn't no suspects or motives in the situation. As police got footage from that day, it showed the person running with dark clothes just like the witnesses described, trying to find an exit or leave the mall in a hurry. Still images was released to the news and a $5,000 reward was offered for any information. As more details came out about the mall shooting, police were shocked about the suspect who was being accused of the shooting. They now knew that the young man on camera was another 17-year-old man named William Marshall III, and which some people called Junior. They stated they had footage from the mall showing the young man was the suspected shooter and also other evidence that was pointing in Williams' direction. He was also from Columbia and a senior at another high school. He was now being accused of multiple charges, including first-degree murder, as some claimed the young man had some kind of altercation or beef. But William was MIA, now on the run. As the reward for his arrest went up to $10,000, the news added the young man to the list of Maryland's most wanted, stating he went from a high school student to a fugitive. As Angelo's mother received the news, they had a suspect. She had a message for the kids and the youth in the community that are crashing out and trying to be with the street life.
People have to find something else to do. They have to get into something else because the way of the street, that's not it. This is not the way. They're being lost like this with no integrity, no decency, no nothing. Just take somebody's kid like this. My son was a good child.
Left to pick up the pieces, she felt like it should be the opposite way around, that her son should one day be burying her, not her burying her son. Local police wondered, did the incident that happened to Angelo last year when he was shot 9 times and the mall incident have any connection? The reward for William was raised to $30,000, as has now been a nationwide manhunt for the teen. As of now, he is still on the run and innocent until proven otherwise. Rest in peace to Angelo. I send my prayers and condolences to his mother and the rest of his family. As a parent myself, I can only imagine sending my kid to the mall and them losing their life. Sometimes as parents, we never know how our kids carry it when we are not around though. I'm not saying that was the case with Angelo at all, but it definitely seemed like somebody wanted Shorty out the way. Shot 9 times, then targeted in the middle of a mall. That's almost like somebody saw the young man and made a call for the alleged shooter to already come up there with dark clothes on. It seemed like a mission. His mother said something that caught my attention. She stated she moved him from East Baltimore to Columbia for Angelo's safety and quality of life, and she never thought he would be shot out there. That goes to show you, sometimes it's not just the environment, it's the people we choose to hang around and the things we choose to get into. You can move to the richest neighborhood in the world. Somebody will still have a gun around and be doing some kind of street activity. All we can do as parents is pray and try to hope our kids don't get caught up, because we can't control the next child and their thought process and upbringing. Both of these young men were 17 years old. I wonder what was so deep to be bold enough to up a gun in the middle of a crowded mall with cameras everywhere, knowing everybody saw you. But I won't speculate. Y'all leave it in the comments and let me know what you think about the situation. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace to Angelo. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.